Hello and welcome to our course tutorial on the Algebra 1 program, which is our mastery-based program here at Carondelet. This tutorial is designed to be a parent resource guide. It doesn't go into everything about the algebra program, but it gives you in broad strokes the different pieces to the puzzle that comprise the program, giving you enough information and arming you on how you can engage and discuss the program with your daughter. There are different pieces to the program, so let's go over the algebra toolbox. Initially, your daughter will need a composition notebook. This is an extraordinarily important. It should be dedicated to math and only have her notes related to the math program and potentially any exercises or additional content, but all reserved for math. She will need her calculator, and with her iPad, she will use that to access the Notability app, which allows her to handwrite the lesson and the exercises that she has to then turn in electronically, and also her online textbook or learning platform, which is Carnegie. And finally, she will also be able to watch the YouTube videos, the videos that have been uploaded to YouTube by our teacher, Mary Beth Dietrich, and that were created and designed specifically to support the program. All of this, all the electronic stuff, runs through Schoology, which is our learning management system. I'm going to leave the presentation here long enough to just do a very quick tour of Schoology. Schoology, for every course your daughter has, there is a corresponding Schoology unit, and the Algebra 1 gives everything that she needs to do well in algebra. You'll see everything is set up extremely clearly in chronological order. Every topic has a folder. Every folder gets opened and starts with the huge and very important roadmap connected for that topic. That is something that no topic should be started without first downloading and printing and taping into your notebook your topic guide so that you can refer back to it and know exactly what steps you're going to take. Topic 4, for example, you have an investigation. You watch one first video. I happen to know it's 8 minutes and 50 seconds long. To manage your expectation, that should take about 50 minutes to get through if you're taking notes and really doing the stopping and pausing to do the exercises. Then you get the interactive applications with your friends where you work through problems in class specifically connected to the content learned here, and you work your way through, you rinse and repeat, another video adding a layer of complexity, another application, providing opportunities to practice both on simple application examples and also on more complicated problems. And then finally, you'll move into Carnegie and you'll practice the different concepts that you've been learning through the workspace. It explains the exact steps for every element. No two topics are exactly the same, so the topic guide is really created to support that individual topic. So you can't assume you know what the steps are. You have to go to the topic guide. Because this program has become synonymous with the term Carnegie, because that is our textbook, I thought it would be good to give you a few screenshots on what Carnegie looked like. It's really just a textbook. In other words, it's a little fancier because it's a textbook that has videos and allows them to both get some text content, but also potentially a different perspective and a different way of presenting the same concepts so that they're not just looking at one way of explaining. They also have some exercises that give them simulations. So you have here, we're not going to watch the simulation, but you have here the beginning. Here you have the end where the slope is created so that they can see this and then apply this to the questions. Finally, when they get to the exercise, just the practicing of the problems and trying things on their own, they get to this element, and I want to launch into here because when they start a workspace for a different concept, they have two choices. This tiny little thing here that says skip and go to the problem, or begin step by step. I highly recommend that they begin with the step by step. That really does guide them into what it is they're going to be asked to do, refreshes their memory, presents it in a slightly different way. If they get stuck, there's always a hint. So it's not like a textbook. It doesn't just leave you and abandon you as you turn the page to the exercise that you have to do for homework. Finally, at the end of every topic, so at the end of every chapter, we'll say, to use a traditional format, they have a test. But the program has been designed to give them supporting material to help study for the test. That's not always true in a traditional classroom, but they have extra practice problems that they can work through here. They have, from topic 4 and above, there is a real simulation of the test that they will have to take, and it tells them immediately whether or not they got it right. And that way they kind of know, if they practice through that, whether or not they're ready for the test. And finally, their Carnegie workspace. They've worked through all the problems. You think, oh, I have no more. Well, no, Carnegie allows them to put themselves in review mode. It doesn't erase anything they've done before, but it does give them a whole opportunity to re-practice and retest until they feel confident with the content that they're going to have to be tested on. So you're here and you have all these elements. Now what? What do you do as a parent? Because our objective is never to have you have to teach your daughter math. Our job is, we feel that it is important that you help partner on her journey into high school, into developing some skills that will make her a more autonomous learner, that will make her more self-driven. And sometimes you have to ask some guiding questions. And that is our biggest recommendation. Ask very specific questions that let her know that you know how the program works. Specifically, are you following the steps? Let me see your topic guide. Are you going through things step by step? The program is designed extremely systematically and strategically. If they start doing things out of order, it's not going to make sense. It's going to be frustrating. And that we're finding that bringing them back to following the steps it's arduous, but it's really, really important. The next thing is, are you watching the videos? And when I say watching, it's probably more than just watching. But ultimately, if you find that your daughter is getting stuck on videos, we may have a bigger problem related to fundamental pre-algebra concepts that didn't get addressed in middle school. And that's something we need to know. So when you're watching the videos, back to taking notes. What does taking notes mean? It means more. It means you have to stop the video. You're not watching TV. You're stopping the video. You're engaging with the content. You're pausing. You're writing it down. You are hopefully putting in colors so that you can see the difference between what she said, what added things that you added, like she can explain something orally and you may want to write these things down so that you have that and can rebuild. And finally, I would argue that even when she gives just an application example and she doesn't ask you to stop, I would stop. I would do it. And then I would wait for her, put play again and see if you got it right. And ultimately, the Carnegie question. Are you watching the step-by-step instructions or are you going straight to the problems? Pretty safe to say that they're probably not watching the step-by-steps if they're feeling Carnegie is frustrating, because it is extremely supportive and supporting. The last thing is are you communicating with your teachers and are you filling out your exit ticket? We read the exit tickets and we look to see, and we use these to see if they're following the topic guides, if they're not getting stuck, and where we might identify problems. The last thing is, are you meeting with teachers? Just like a traditional classroom, sometimes you need to go get extra help. And our teachers are particularly available before school, after school, during breaks, during lunch, during Xbox. They're in room 4. At least one member of the team is there to support. Ultimately, you can ask questions, but it's also about just supporting. Learning a new way of learning, being in charge of your learning and not having somebody just spoon feed you what you need to know exactly at the rate you need to know it is a new way of knowing. And success, people feel, is supposed to be seamless and easy. It's not. It's messy. Really engaging with content, really giving yourself the space to struggle, that isn't always a smooth path. But it is worth the battle, because ultimately the challenges become challenges that will help them grow. If they are opportunities to learn, there are opportunities to understand how they learn and how they approach material in the best way. And specifically, it's okay if they're not always just rushing through everything, and for them to take the time based on where they were at in math. In middle school, this program is going to take more or less time. Fundamentally, though, the persistence is worth the battle. The persistence, the grit, developing all these things are tremendous life school skills, but beyond that, they're skills that can lead, and we hope, bring a passion for the subject math, and open doors, or at least not close the doors they don't want to be closed because they got stuck somewhere along the way in high school. Thank you, and I hope you find this video tutorial helpful, and good evening.